Hi, Sai, Karate Illuminati. This is Noah, and I wanted to take some time to discuss the connection between legitimacy and popularity in martial arts. You see, a lot of people are under the impression that if a martial art is legitimate, then it will be popular. And if a martial art is popular, it must be legitimate. But of course, in reality, that isn't always the case. There are martial arts out there that are perfectly legitimate and absolutely not popular. And there are martial arts out there that are popular, but not very legitimate. This belief that legitimacy and popularity are inherently connected largely stems from marketing, in my opinion, and the fact that more martial artists participate in popular martial arts than participate in unpopular martial arts. So, of course, there are going to be more people in the martial arts community who, because they are part of a popular martial art, are going to be more inclined to believe that popular martial arts are legitimate. This becomes particularly problematic when we discuss martial arts that are rare, that are not particularly popular, that aren't being practiced by many people, and are therefore at risk of dying out. Kishimoto-di, one of the arts that I personally practice, is one such martial art. There are probably less than 300 people in the world who have trained in it at all, and there are maybe 24 people who've learned all 4 kata in the system, and that could be a stretch. Now, the organization that has passed on Kishimoto-di is the Bugeikan, which was founded by Higa Seitoku, one of the most well-respected and well-credentialed martial artists in Okinawa of his generation. And I've never found anything from anyone, living or not, that in any way spoke of Higa Seitoku negatively, or that questioned his integrity, or his knowledge, or his skills, or the material that he passed on. He's pretty much as legitimate as you can possibly get. And so it stands to reason that the martial arts that he taught, which were Kishimoto-di, Motobu Udun-di, Hanashiro Chomo Shorin-ryu, and Yamani-ryu Bojutsu, would all be legitimate arts. Another good example of a rare martial art that's perfectly legitimate but doesn't have popularity to back it up would be Toan-ryu, which many people haven't even heard of, but was founded by Kyoda Juhatsu, one of the senior students of Higashiyama Kanryo. And that's the same person who taught Miyagi Chojun, who would go on to found Goju-ryu. Even Motobu Kempo, the version of karate that was developed and taught by Motobu Choki, is pretty rare today. Not many people practice it. So again, it doesn't have popularity backing it up, but it's perfectly legitimate. Now, there are a lot of ways that you can define legitimacy when it comes to martial arts. When it comes to traditional martial arts, that is very often tied to the lineage of the art, right? You have this lineage that's been documented and recorded, passed down from generation to generation, and each generation was highly respected by their contemporaries, and that is part of the legitimacy of the art. Another way to look at it is from a functionality perspective or an effectiveness perspective, whether or not the martial art being taught works under pressure. But of course, there's different ways to test that. Some martial arts are geared toward competitive sport fighting, where you are essentially dueling someone else with the same skill set. But others are meant for self-defense, where you don't have that same level playing field. Some of them involve weapons, and that's harder to pressure test. So it can be very subjective when that's your way of looking at legitimacy. But no matter how you choose to look at it, there should not be any real connection between the popularity of a martial art and the legitimacy of that art.